Yo, if you're a surfer and you want to catch better waves, breath training has got to be on your list of things to do. My name is Kyle Russ here with How'd Your Mind. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to extend your breath hold time, but why it's so important to do so. So this line here I got represents a timeline of your breath hold. So at the beginning here, that's 0 seconds. That's the start of your breath hold, and right here is the blackout, so your longest maximum breath hold time. So I explain this in what I call the 3 alarms. So as you're holding your breath, your body gives you signals telling you need oxygen, and it does it in 3 ways. Number 1 is the physical alarms. So as you hold your breath, as you go along here, your body will eventually start to give you physical alarms. First one is things like tightness of chest. You might start making a pain face or tightness in the neck, things like that. So that'll happen. These are physical alarms. And you can extend that one by doing breath hold training. So as you breathe in oxygen, it's converted to CO2. As that accumulates in your blood, it gives you that urge to breathe. So you have to increase your tolerance to CO2 in your body, and that'll extend when you start getting those physical alarms. But also, so when you get those alarms, they start on a rising scale, so they get more and more intense. You can flatten that curve by familiarity. So the second alarm is what I call a mental alarm. So this is when your thoughts start to change. So in this section here, you're relatively calm. And then when you get into here, your thoughts start to change because you start to feel that pain. You start to think, okay, things are wrong. So you flatten this curve, you make it so it extends out even longer. You do that through familiarity. So it's constantly training and becoming familiar with those physical alarms and realizing you have a lot more time to hold your breath. So repetition is important there. So without familiarity, your mental alarms could be way back here. But with familiarity, your mental alarms get pushed way back here. And then really closely tied to a mental alarm are the emotional alarms. These are the bad ones. These are fear and panic and those types of things. So if you can really flatten this curve and extend how long you can handle those physical alarms, that really extends your emotional alarms out farther. A different way to extend, so first one, we got high CO2 tolerance. Mental alarms, we got familiarity. Emotional alarms, we have pain tolerance. So I teach what I call emotional weightlifting. It's putting yourself in bad positions in a safe environment repetitively so that you become familiar with the pain and you don't get those emotional alarms. So pushing that one back as far as possible could really get you to the potential of your breath hold time. It's really, really important to do this over and over, because if you've had a negative experience in the ocean, you've been held down too long and you've had that panic, you'll carry that with you. So if nothing changes, nothing changes. So if between your sessions, you're not doing anything, you're gonna show up in the water, and as soon as you hold your breath, you might start with an emotional alarm. So if you have had a bad experience and you don't do any training, as soon as your breath hold starts, you could start off very first thing with a big emotional alarm, and then bang, physical and mental start right away, and your breath hold time gets cut down by 60 to 90% or whatever, and that's when you are in a really bad spot. So if you've had a bad experience in the water, super, super important to do this so you can become familiar with the things and realize what your potential actually is, and you can extend that breath hold time as far as possible, extend all those alarms, become familiar with them, and really, really change who you are physiologically, mentally, and emotionally. And that's the most important part. So as you can see here, breath holding is super, super mental and emotional. The physical stuff is really, really important, obviously, but if you don't have this other stuff, the physical stuff gets wiped off the table. No matter how much training you do, unless you have that familiarity, you're never gonna be able to reach your potential. And this final line here, your total extended breath hold time before blackout, and that's a tolerance to low oxygen, which is extended by training as well. So all these things can be done at the same time. I teach low oxygen training, so it's constantly putting yourself in these positions at home so you extend all these things and you build all those tolerances that I'm talking about: pain tolerance, the high CO2 tolerance, and low oxygen tolerance, as well as that emotional weightlifting that's so, so important so you don't get those panic alarms and you don't react to them. That's what's really, really important here. So it's super simple stuff, but the one last thing I want to say is the most important part is consistency, because our bodies are adaptation machines. We adapt to our environments based on the information we put on it. So if we're just sitting on the couch all the time or sitting at the office, you adapt to that environment, having all that oxygen, so that if you go into the water, you're not going to be any better, right? You're just going to be getting weaker on land. You go to the water, you get smoked over and over, and that could be the end of your confidence. But doing this makes you constantly better over time, makes you stronger with all these alarms I'm talking about here, makes you a better surfer. So consistency is important. I recommend doing this stuff every single day. It can be done super, super fast, and that's it. And the 3 things it's going to really do for you: it's going to make you more confident, it's going to make you safer, it's going to make you able to have a lot more fun and catch better waves. My name is Kyle Russ. This is the 3 alarms for breath holding. Thanks a lot for watching.